rated T to M. Hey, want to hear a PC Game Pass ad? I'll take your silence as a yes. Want new games on day one like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or Stalker 2? I thought so. How about unlocking all the League of Legends champions when you link your Riot Games account? All for one low monthly price? Well, guess what? We got you. Learn more at xbox.com/PC Game Pass or click the banner. Stalker 2 available November 20th, 2024. Game catalog varies by region and over time. And that's the end of the script.
59 degrees, skies rainy and overcast on this Wednesday, December 11th. Good afternoon. I'm James Flippin. Cops say fingerprints found at the scene where United Healthcare's CEO was shot to death last week here in Manhattan match the suspects. Luigi Mangione was arrested in Pennsylvania this week, and he's been fighting extradition to New York. Secretary of State Antony Blinken testifying before a House committee over the withdrawal from Afghanistan. That testimony coming almost 3 months after the House Foreign Affairs Committee voted to recommend that Blinken be held in contempt of Congress after a standoff related to him appearing before the panel. President-elect Trump nominating former Fox News host Kimberly Guilfoyle to be the U.S. ambassador to Greece. And he also said on Truth Social that Guilfoyle's extensive experience in leadership in law, media, and politics, along with her sharp intellect, make her qualified to represent the U.S. The NFL's headed to Berlin, the league announcing it will play a regular season game in Germany's capital city next year. The Dow up 36 points as stocks are in positive territory here at midday. And from the Ramsey Mazda Weather Center, today, rain around, maybe a thunderstorm, heavy rainfall expected at times, the temperature hovering near 60, wind gusts as high as 47 miles per hour. And the news never stops at WABCRadio.com. 59 degrees, skies are rainy, and I'm James Flippin.
Trust in me in all you do.
Curtis, that's for you from Etta James. Trust.
God.
Trust in us. Trust in Josh Gottheimer, the congressman from New Jersey. That's what he's saying. He's saying when it comes to these drones.
I don't trust government. But before we get to that, you had mentioned Kimberly Guilfoyle is now our U.S. ambassador to Greece.
Nominee, yeah.
Right after she's broken up with Donald Trump Jr. So is this Trump Sr.'s way of getting her out of town as quickly as possible so there are no problems?
Maybe. I mean, there was a photograph of Donald Trump Jr. with some socialite, I think, down in Florida. So
yeah, this is a quick way. Kimberly, we don't need for the both of you to be two scorpions in a brandy glass. So head to Greece. Although she doesn't have a Greek bone in her body. That's okay. All right, I understand. To avoid a family feud. We don't want any family feuds going on before the inauguration, January 20th. Now, let's get to the main story here. It has actually superseded all the other stories. It superseded Daniel Penny, and believe it or not, it superseded even Luigi Boy. So we have a situation where your governor, half-in-the-bag Murphy, said yesterday that since November 18th, he does not know what these drones are or the origin of the drones. He knows not. He's like Sergeant Schultz. He knows
He knows nothing.
In fact, Lou Rufino, if you could just play half in the bag Murphy right here.
I was on with the White House and Homeland Security leadership literally at the very top yesterday for pretty much all day. I'm hoping we'll get answers sooner than later.
Hoping they'll get answers sooner than later. There was a meeting earlier today of national officials to go over this, and guess who was missing in action? Your governor, half-in-the-bag Murphy, who wanted the meeting and then didn't even show up at the meeting.
By the way, if I could just quickly ask you a point of clarity.
Yes.
Murphy's been governor for several years now, a full term.
Unfortunately for New Jersey.
Right, coming up on the end of his second term eventually here. And you have routinely referred to him as half in the bag.
Half in the bag,
Bill
correct.
Murphy. Shouldn't at this point he be fully in the bag?
No, because up until 5 o'clock, happy hour, at the bar, he doesn't drink during the day, and he shakes. You can see. He's got the Jake Leg, the Rum Rouge. He's an alkie. And then at 5 o'clock, man, he follows his own drought restriction rules. He doesn't have ice cubes in his scotch. He doesn't have water in his scotch. He just knocks it back. And he is half in the bag. So half the day he's in the bag. The other half of the day, He's sober but shaking.
I see. Gotcha.
But
okay, so
here it is.
He wasn't there at this hearing.
No. Well, I want to hear that one more time, please, Lou Ruffino, if you can play that. I want you to hear this.
I was on with the White House and Homeland Security leadership, literally at the very top yesterday, for pretty much all day. I'm hoping we'll get answers sooner than later.
So they were prepared to give him the answers, even if he wouldn't share it with us, and he didn't even show up for the meeting. Now, you think he was on a bender? What do you think? Come on. Hey, this is your governor.
I don't have any inside knowledge as to
how
what
the hell could you
Murphy
blow
was
off
up
a
to
meeting
yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you would think that he would want to find out. You'd think he'd be curious.
He asked for a meeting.
Right.
He asked for the meeting. They all come down
sooner
in New Jersey.
rather than later, he said, and then they get it next day.
And they're looking around and saying, well, where's the guy after the bag Murphy who asked for the meeting?
Maybe he already knows.
Oh, okay. So here it is. More cover for your governor. By the way, thank God he's term limited. Another graduate of Goldman Sachs. How could you people elect anybody from Goldman Sachs? You did it with that chipmunk face, Corzine, right? Though maybe the worst governor you've ever had. Then you decide, so nice, we'll do it twice. Half in the bag Murphy. And now you're thinking of doing it for Steve Fulop, friend of Noam Laden, who's in the hot tub there in the Heights in Jersey City, hoping to become his press secretary when he becomes governor the next time around in Trenton. 3 graduates of Goldman Sachs. Do you want to be abused anymore in New Jersey? Are you masochists in New Jersey? Look at this guy. Again, I got to play it a third time, Lou Ruffino. Please.
I was on with the White House and Homeland Security leadership, literally at the very top yesterday, for pretty much all day. I'm hoping we'll get answers sooner than later.
So they were prepared to give him the answers, and he blew off the meeting.
But the other possibility is that he's asking for the ability for it to be made public, whatever he does or doesn't know.
So he doesn't show up at the meeting? Come on, he's on a bender.
If he was on...
Do the Curtis Sliwa approach. Just cock your shotguns out there in New Jersey. You can't depend on government. Shoot it down and we'll find out what the hell that drone is doing. Look, and this is the other thing that half in the bag Murphy said. These drones are very sophisticated. The minute you get your eyes on them, they go dark. Really? Come on. What does he see? Pink elephants up in the sky. And then the other New Jersey guy, Aaron Rodgers, right? Taking that ayahuasca, what is that?
Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca LSD, right? He probably sees Pink Floyd's Pink Pig in the air.
It's not LSD.
What do you mean it's not LSD?
It's not LSD.
It's a psychotropic drug.
Okay.
All right, you hallucinate on that, right? Am I right or wrong?
You do hallucinate, supposedly,
okay.
yes.
Could you try it over the weekend and then report to us?
I'm not interested.
All right, so that's the second New Jersey guy who probably sees the pink pig in the sky from Pink Floyd.
So what, are you suggesting that anybody who's seeing these drones is just seeing things?
No, they're absolutely seeing it. But the government will not acknowledge them, won't admit them. So again, every rock-ribbed old American in New Jersey, instead of hunting bear and deer, hunt these SUV-sized drones that are hovering in the air. Why not? Government.
Because
well, let's go to your next jerky boy in elected office in the Garden State. Who is this guy? Hockenheimer? What's his name?
Gottheimer. Josh Gottheimer. He's a North Jersey congressman.
And he wants to run for governor too, right?
I believe that's probably the case. Yes, I don't know.
This statement disqualifies him. He claims, I was part of the Intel committee. We were deliberating this yesterday, but guess what? You don't have a right to know. I know, but you don't have a right to know.
And I think it's very important the public knows and hears from us as leaders that we're aware of what they're seeing or what the reporting they're seeing, and that if they should be concerned, which I'm not.
He's not. He's not concerned. Well, tell us. Tell us what you're not concerned about. He won't do it. So, ladies and gentlemen in New Jersey, cock your Winchester shotguns and shoot those damn drones out of the sky.
I think what Gottheimer might be saying is that there could well be laws barring him from sharing classified information, and that he'd like to tell the public what's going on, but that needs to be approved by the proper authorities.
Well, you are definitely giving him cover. So let's see what else. What's his name?
Gottheimer. Gottheimer. First
of all, with a name like that, he's never going to get elected governor of the state of New Jersey. Let's hear what else he says This self-important congressman who says, I know what's going on. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. You don't have a right to know.
Going forward to make sure we're prepared, which is why you should always be thinking not just of this incident, but the next one. And that's what I'm very focused on. And because obviously I'm aware they can be used for nefarious purposes. We want to make sure that doesn't happen in Jersey or anywhere in the country.
What the hell does that mean? So he's trying to say what has happened so far is not nefarious? Ladies and gentlemen, please get your gun stocks out, even if it's old Revolutionary War muskets. Shoot it out of the sky.
And I'd just like to say, please don't do that. As someone who lives in New Jersey, we don't need bullets now falling from the sky in addition to drones.
Oh, so now you're following in the path of, what's that, the gotcha man? What's his name again?
Gottheimer.
Yeah, he wants to be governor. So now you're following the Democrat. Let's give him one more opportunity to explain this, as Ricky Ricardo would say, to Lucille Ball. I want to explain this, Lucy.
Our federal partners should be out there front and center on this as well. This will be critical in reassuring public safety and ensuring that our efforts to safeguard our national security keep up with advancing technology and any terrorists who might be looking to do us harm.
What the hell does that mean? What the hell? Could you interpret?
I can try to translate. I basically think what he's saying is that the federal government should come out and say what the heck they're doing here.
Well, they have. In fact, they have. In fact, they just released this report. The U.S. Military Research Center says they are not flying mysterious drones. Well, then who is? There's only one way to find out. Cock your shotguns, and I mean shoot right where, in fact, where Governor Murphy, half in the bag, says, oh, these drones are very sophisticated. Right. The minute you get your eyes on them, they go dark. Well, guess what? The moment you beat down on them and the eyes go dark, blast them out of the sky.
And I'd just like to say also, keep a watchful eye on the Upper West Side just in case you see any drones up there and you need to fire off into the sky.
Staten Island. They came over the Arthur Kill Van Cole from Perth Amboy and South
but
Amboy.
I'm saying just in case they show up in your neighborhood, people should also be firing bullets up
well,
into
as
the
you
air.
know, Frank Morano's half in the bag half the time anyway. What does he have, like 5 cocktails by the time 12 noon comes around? He likes some extra dry, right?
I know he likes cheese, and he'll have a random cocktail. But
Well. Now, you like Gotchenheimer, right? I gotcha.
No, I mean, look, he's not necessarily, but he did do well, I guess, fighting, or he's continuing to try and fight against congestion pricing.
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
fighting real hard. How about the Republican Congressman Van Drew? You like Van Drew? I introduced him when I was
former
a
Democrat
keynote speaker at the Bergen County annual dinner. I introduced Van Drew, who came in with this polyester waffle weave flame retardant jacket. Looked like a throwback to the 50s. Hey, Van Drew, never talk after Curtis Sliwa. You're not going to hold the audience, but nice guy. He does look like he's a character right out of the 50s. Do you know what your congressman, the Republican Congressman Van Drew, has said? He wants those drones to be shot down. So he sided with me now, hillbilly boy.
And who is he calling for? Who should he say? He says who should shoot them down?
Well, why don't you find out? Since he has allied himself with me. What I'm saying is, don't wait for Van Drew. Don't wait for, what's his name? Gotchenheimer, whatever the hell his name is.
Sure.
Don't wait for your missing in action, half in the bag, Governor Murphy, who didn't even attend the meeting this morning that he asked for, who's on a bender. Just take matters into your own hands. Look, during the American Revolutionary War, in the Green in Morristown, right, when the Patriots assembled against the Red Horde sent by the king to smash them down, the Hessians, right? What did the American Patriots do with their muskets? They loaded it, they shot, and they fought for our freedom.
So you're deputizing our listening audience in New Jersey.
Are you an NRA guy? Do you believe in the right to bear arms, Second Amendment?
I do.
Would I have to pry that shotgun out of your cold, dead hand?
My cold, dead hands.
Okay, so why are you not aligning with the Patriots who are tired of the nonsense and the lies of our government? They were asked point blank, are these U.S. military drones or government drones, quote, the U.S. Military Research Center says they aren't flying mysterious drones. Well, if they're not, who is? Who is? Can you depend on this government? Can you trust this government?
No, definitely not. I mean, like we said yesterday, we've seen this whole Chinese weather balloon thing floating across the entire mainland U.S., and now we've got the tri-state skies being
3 weeks
monitored by these drones.
Since November 18th. And again, let me hear half in the bag, Murphy, okay? He requested a meeting, assembled this morning, and he was missing in action. Governor Murphy.
I was on with the White House and Homeland Security leadership literally at the very top yesterday for pretty much all day. I'm hoping we'll get answers sooner than later.
You see, that was before happy hour at 5. Then he had a few, right? Knocked them back, scotch straight, no ice, no water, so as to abide by the drought restriction provisions that he's indicated in his memo. And now he's missing in action this morning. Everyone assembled and said, where's the governor who wanted this meeting? What is wrong with people in New Jersey? Are you masochists? Are you really mad? This guy calls you knuckleheads, and the biggest knucklehead of all is half in the bag, Governor Murphy.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I guess all I can say is that those knuckleheads, I certainly hope they don't take your advice and start firing rounds off into the sky. That's all I can say.
It's the only way we're going to find out where these drones are from. Well, now you're concerned about the drones, right? Oh, don't shoot
the drones.
Don't shoot my drones.
I'm not worried about the drones.
I'm worried about the drones.
No, I'm not worried about the drones.
So Sir Isaac Newton, whatever goes up comes down. The left.
Exactly.
Do you know on New Year's Day, which is coming up in Los Angeles and Compton and Watts and East L.A., they shoot their guns in the air like they just don't care. And yeah, some of them do get hit with collateral damage when the bullets fall out of the sky. Good for them because they're freaking gangbangers. We're talking about patriots out there. Second Amendment, right to bear arms people like my wife Nancy, Annie Oakley. They need to do the patriotic thing. They need to take out a drone.
And if for some reason those drones start to fly on the Upper West Side, do the patriotic thing.
Oh, no. In fact, they'll surrender. In the Upper West Side, they'll surrender. The Red Chinese are here. They're here to liberate us from Trump. Yes, in the West, they'll have their little red book from Mao Zedong, the Cultural Revolution. Remember, many of them joined the Venceremos Brigade and went to cut the sugarcane for Fidel Castro when they were just getting out of Columbia University. They'll have flashbacks. And you know something? You're making fun of me. So why don't you go out there and find out who Congressman Van Drew wants to shoot down the drones? Because I think he's my amigo on this, and he wants American patriots to do the job, not the U.S. military that says, we aren't flying the mysterious drones. Oofa!
Curtis Sliwa. Curtis Sliwa. Rip and read. Check this out. This is the Rip and Read featuring Curtis Sliwa. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC and Curtis Sliwa. This is the Rip and Read.
August 2023. Eric Adams with a lot of pride announced, tough noogies, all of you. We're going to be putting 2,500 Venezuelan illegal aliens in Floyd Bennett Field in 5 tents. And he issued no-bid contracts to his cronies, to Timothy Pearson, who has since resigned in disgrace, who then, after the issuance of the no-bid contract, said, and what about me? Do I get any crumbs? Because you know he was kicking up to Eric Adams. That's what they do in organized crime. They kick up. They're the capo di tutti. And now all of a sudden Eric Adams is screaming, that's right, we have been wasting taxpayers' money for far too long. No, you have. You have. Nobody told you to be spending money on illegal aliens. You chose to do it. And it was the combination of Sid and me who organized those rallies. And now you're getting rid of the illegal aliens in Floyd Manor Field for one reason only, as the New York Times states in its lead article, New York City to close giant family shelter to protect migrants from Trump. Because by January 19th, you're going to have them all out. Because you don't want Tom Homan on January 20th doing his first raid on the federal parkland known as Floyd Bennett Field, which he has a right to do. And then they'll find contraband in the tents. They'll find all the bad hombres. And it'll be a black eye for you, Eric Adams, and your partner in this crime against the taxpayers, Kathy Hochul. Remember what Sid said at that initial rally.
I think the goal is to make everybody in this neighborhood aware of what they're trying to do. This is a calamity. This starts with the President of the United States, goes right to his Homeland Security guy, Mayorkas. Those guys lie all the time about the border being closed. Clearly it's not closed. You don't close the border, then you put Hochul and Adams in a tough situation. They're both liars, too. This is a complete system failure from the mayor to the governor to the Homeland Security director to the vice president to the president. Everybody's lying to us and failing us. We're out tonight to expose the truth.
Don't need to say anything else. That's when Eric Adams, swagger man with no plan, was the Biden of Brooklyn. You remember? He loved Joe Biden, and he screwed us. And now he's trying to do the pivot and shift. That ain't going to work, Eric Adams. Because both Sid and I will remind everyone in Brooklyn and the Rockaways how you tortured them, how you forced the illegal aliens into parkland, which was illegal, federal parkland. But Biden made a dispensation to allow for that. Now, all of a sudden, what does Eric Adams say in his bid to get a pardon from Donald Trump? Yeah, we've been wasting taxpayers' money for far too long. No, you were. Our money. You were. And those of us who stood up to you were called racists and xenophobes. We will never forget, Eric Adams. You don't get to rewrite history. Stay there with your Bitcoin bandits in Puerto Rico where you were fundraising last night because you're such a crook you can't even get matching funds anymore because nobody trusts you. And nobody in New York City trusts you, neither on the left or the right or the middle.
This is the Rip and Read featuring Curtis Sliwa. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC and Curtis Sliwa.
Luigi. Killer of the CEO of the healthcare insurance company. Shot him right in the back and fled. And he has become a hero, especially to the femme fatales out there. His looks, apparently, the pictures that he has taken that are now been made public, him flexing his abs. Women are claiming, oh, look at those eyebrows. Oh, those bushy eyebrows. Oh, he's got... It's like they love bad boys, some women out there. They love bad boys. Whether it's James Dean, going back to James Dean, although he was gay, there was so many women who love this guy. They love a rebel without a cause, and they especially love rebels with a cause. We still don't know the many aspects of what it is that prompted Luigi to decide to execute this executive in cold-blooded murder outside the Hilton. There are gawkers who are coming from everywhere to go to the site to gawk. There's no picture of the guy. There are no candles. There are no flowers. There's nothing. It's almost as if there is sympathy and empathy for the gunman who went wild yesterday on his way into his extradition hearing where his lawyer, court-appointed lawyer, said 1,000 times no, he will not agree to extradition in New York Governor Holcomb said, I am going to issue an executive order to have him extradited from Altoona, Pennsylvania as quickly as possible to then be arraigned and tried, believe it or not, by Alvin Bragg, who lost the Penny case, thank God. But now he'll have this Mangione case. But the side issue here is the love that so many women are professing for this stone-cold killer. I mean, there's no other way to describe him. You may have a problem with the healthcare insurance industries, but this guy was cold-blooded. Now we're finding out he wanted to throw a bomb. He was actually thinking of doing a Sacco and Vanzetti. This is what anarchists love to do. The Haymarket riots in Chicago set off bombs. They did it outside of Wall Street. The other night I was at Francis Tavern, where the FALN set off a bomb inside and killed about 6 and injured about 38. These are the tactics of domestic terrorists and mostly anarchists. Anarchists believe in assassinations, executions, and bombings. And it seems he's got some of that in his thought process, but there's so much more to find out about Luigi. But yet, the girls just love Luigi. Listen, they're pouring their love. It's dripping from their lips and heart. They want to take this bad boy in and hug him. They want to hold him and kiss him and give him sanctuary and comfort.
Okay, so they've arrested our hot CEO assassin. Turns out his name's Luigi. He's 26 years old. He's an Ivy League grad. Did his undergrad and master's at Penn in computer science. That's my type. He's a little young for me, but, baby, what is you doing getting caught eating at McDonald's? And curse you, McDonald's employee, for turning him in. But I get it. They upped the reward to $60,000. Maybe you needed that money. I never understood those crazy women that wrote inmates in jail, but I could see myself doing that.
So here was a cougar professing her love for Luigi Mangione. By the way, Justin Ellick, it was really the female worker, the counter worker at the Altoona, Pennsylvania McDonald's who spotted him, ID'd him, and made the call. Have we seen any recognition for her? Of course not. The NYPD taking all the credit. They deserve some of it. The Altoona Police Department taking all the credit. They deserve some of it. But this guy would still be on the lam if not for a female worker at the McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, who sold him those hash browns, right, that he was seen eating on that photograph that obviously was taken in McDonald's with the cameras there. But this female said it looks like the guy's picture on TV. Now, he was wearing a mask. He was wearing the hoodie. He wasn't giving her the full profile. So, I mean, this woman deserves all credit. I don't know who this female employee is at McDonald's. You would think the McDonald's Corporation in Chicago would be elevating this young lady, giving her the props, the attention, the recognition she has deserved. All that is mentioned is, it was a female employee, a counter worker at McDonald's who ID'd him and then called 911. Without which, this guy would still be on the lam. So we see the mayor's FaceTiming the Altoona, Pennsylvania rookie cop who made the collar. Hey, guess what? Without the female at the counter at McDonald's, the cashier, who took this guy's order and looked him in the eye and came to the conclusion it was him who was on the lam, there is no arrest. Who knows how many more days, how many more weeks, how many more months. And then they're putting out another story that it was good old-fashioned, giving out 8x11 flyers with his picture on it that caused him to get detained. No. That they didn't need to use photo recognition technology. Don't tell me, please, that the NYPD did not use photo recognition technology. You have it. We paid for it. Civil libertarians, the New York Civil Liberties Union claims that you shouldn't use it. It's a violation of people's rights. Tell me You didn't use the photo recognition technology? That's what's almost suggested in the articles. Shame on you if you didn't. Shame on you. I want to exalt this female employee at the McDonald's. I want to give her attention and recognition. It should be from McDonald's, the international corporation in Chicago. It should be here, the city of New York, Mayor Eric Adams, the police commissioner, Tish. And it certainly should be in Altoona, Pennsylvania. I mean, how many people even knew where Altoona, Pennsylvania was? Justin Ellick, you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, but you had no idea where Altoona, Pennsylvania was. None whatsoever. And put it right on the map. But let's talk about these femme fatales, these groupies. Here's a woman who claims that she is the shooter boy's girlfriend.
Thank you to everyone who's sending me their thoughts and prayers for Luigi. Like I said, he was making me cacio e pepe at my house the night that the CEO was shot. So, it was definitely not him. They have the wrong guy. And yeah, we're doing everything we can to get him out of this. So please keep praying for my boyfriend.
My boyfriend. I'm telling you, once he's extradited to New York, I was with a group of correctional officers from Rikers Island last night, sitting down, discussing how horrible things are in Rikers Island, how Eric Adams has abandoned Rikers Island. It'll soon be under federal receivership. There'll be a trustee of the court who's going to be running it. My answer would be, yeah, you've done a really horrible job running the MDC in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, the federal prison that's falling apart that now houses Sean Puff Daddy Combs, and his cellmate is Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX boy. That's the Maytag. You know damn well now. With the release of the information that Jay-Z was involved in these freak-offs, you know Sean Puff Daddy Combs is going to be Jeffrey Epstein. You know they're going to claim that he's committed suicide. But I digress. Let's go to the woman who has led the charge on this, Taylor Lorenz, formerly employed by the Washington Post. She was like their technology expert. She obviously no longer works for the Washington Post. She no longer works for anyone. She's persona non grata. But she professes support for what Luigi did in executing the CEO, as she explained to Piers Morgan, who was offended by what she was saying.
I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Serious?
I mean...
Joy in a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again...
We're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's being gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Thousands of Americans that be murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people. And the many millions of Americans that have watched people that I care about suffer and in some cases die.
Taylor Lorenz did not retreat, did not buck, did not bow, did not fold. In fact, she doubled down in her support of Luigi and his execution of the CEO of the healthcare insurance company.
I don't find it funny that tens of thousands of Americans die every year and because they are denied life-saving health care from people like the CEO. Now, I want to fix this system. You're right. We shouldn't be going around shooting each other with vigilante justice. No. I think that it is a good thing that this murder has led to America, or really the media elites and politicians in this country paying attention to this issue for the first time. You mentioned you couldn't understand why somebody would feel this reaction when they watched a CEO die. It's because you have not dealt, it sounds like, with the American healthcare system in the way that millions of other Americans have.
And then on Sunday night, when news and information was pouring out about Luigi Mangione, my wife and I, Nancy and I, were taking calls in the rip and read from 8 to 10 before the Animal Welfare Hour of a lot of women who were in support of what this shooter did, like Natalie.
I am all for that fugitive, and if the CEO actually did what he supposedly or is reported to have done, that he changed some algorithms or created algorithms to deny people health care that might be life-saving. I'm rooting for him. I hope he gets away. And I've never had any criminal record or anything, but I just feel that he may be responsible for so many deaths. So maybe he deserved what he got.
So maybe he deserved what he got, the CEO. I will tell you the preponderance of support that I've detected in the subways and the streets and here on the most powerful radio station in the nation by day, coast to coast, and most powerful at night around the world. The preponderance of support for Luigi Mangione has come from women. A lot of women who have this rage towards these healthcare insurance companies who promise you that they are going to deliver on what you paid that premium for, and then they basically chop you down when it's time for you to get that procedure. A lot of anger out there. Just a lot of anger.
Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC and Curtis Sliwa.
Curtis doesn't know about you, but he rips and reads.
This is the Rip and Read.
Bum, 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 Iran. 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 My country's got a feeling, really hit the ceiling. Bum, Iran. Bum, 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 Iran. Went to a mosque, gonna throw some rocks. Tell the Ayatollah, gonna put you in a box. Bum, Iran. Bum, 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 bum,
Now, why am I playing this song, Bomb Bomb Iran? Remember, John McCain did a version of that when he was alive, because we had to awake Jersey boy James Flippin to the fact that the Republican congressman there, Jeff Andrew, who recently I had introduced in the Bergen County Republican annual dinner, he showed up with that polyester waffle weave flame retardant jacket. Looks like a guy who's from the 1950s. And he is now saying, Justin Ellick, well, in fact, hit the breaking news sounder here, please.
Breaking news, WABC.
Do we wake up our newsroom? Yes, James Flippin, Noam Laden. Jeff Andrew, Republican congressman, said the drones very possibly could be from Iran, citing confidential sources during an appearance that he just made on the Fox News channel. He said that the mystery drones all over New Jersey are Iranian, and they're coming from a mothership parked off the East Coast. Now, the last time I heard of a mothership connection was on Ted Koppel, if you remember, of Nightline, when he was interviewing Screwy Louis Farrakhan, who talked about the mothership that was circling the world, and how Yaqub, the evil scientist, white scientist, had created this world as we know it, and that's why black men, black women were suffering. That has nothing to do with that. In fact, Congressman Drew, Jeff Van Drew, Republican, has said that these Iranian drones should be shot down immediately. And I am suggesting that if the United States military is unwilling to do it, for whatever reason they may come up with, it is incumbent upon patriots. New Jersey was the epicenter of the revolution against the crown. There were battlefields galore. I think of Morristown and the Green there, and all the patriotic sentiment that existed in New Jersey. Not across the Hudson in New York City. New York City was a bastion supporting the king and supporting the continued oppression of the Union Jack, and not for the possibility of 13 colonies existing as United States as we eventually became. So I give it to Jersey, the epicenter of patriotism. Oftentimes, you guys and gals, you're out there during bear season, deer season, you're culling the herds with your Winchester shotguns. I'm suggesting, as you see them hovering in the sky, over military bases, over armories, over your private property, over schools, you have one responsibility. That is to cock your shotguns, double-barreled, loaded up good. Take it down so we can see for ourselves exactly what is happening. Congressman Jeff Andrew did not reveal where he got the information, but he said, without a doubt, they are off the east coast of the United States. The Iranian government has launched these drones. He said these are from the highest sources of our United States government. I don't say this lightly. He says, but we need to deal with this Iranian menace. Meantime, where's half in the bag Murphy? Remember yesterday, Murphy was claiming, I need a meeting. I was
on with the White House and Homeland Security leadership literally at the very top yesterday, for pretty much all day. I'm hoping we'll get answers sooner than later.
By the way, there was a meeting this morning, and guess who was on a bender who didn't attend the meeting? The guy who called for the meeting, Governor Half in the Bag Murphy. So Murphy ain't going to do anything, so cock your shotguns and shoot those drones down. And then Congressman Gothenheimer of Bergen County, who thinks he's going to become the next governor of the state of New Jersey. Over my dead body, you have forsaken the people. Listen to what he said after coming out of intel sessions in Washington, D.C., about these drones that have been hovering over New Jersey and Staten Island since November 18th.
And I think it's very important the public knows and hears from us as leaders that we're aware of what they're seeing or what the reporting they're seeing, and that if they should be concerned, which I'm not.
Oh, excuse me. So you're not concerned, Gothenheimer, so we shouldn't be concerned. Oh, excuse me. I didn't know that you speak and the rest of us must humble ourselves and bow at your foot and say, oh, if Gothenheimer isn't concerned, we shouldn't be concerned. Why are you covering this up? On behalf of Gothenheimer, why don't we write, on the shotgun shells, his name and shoot one of the drones out of the sky, please, please. Meantime, the United States Military Research Center says that they aren't flying mysterious drones. So I guess we have only Congressman Van Drew, who is the only honest guy out there, who is telling us, based on the sessions that he had discussing this behind closed doors, that it very possibly could be from Iran, that has a mothership out off the coast, the Jersey Shore. I guess Shamu El Jefe, Chris Christie, is like sailing up and down as the killer whale. He hasn't done anything. But he is saying what I am saying. Shoot down these drones. Shoot them down now. Come on, James Flippin. Stop trusting Gothenheimer.